This is a Hot Pie Original.
Welcome to the Amy Edwards Show. This is a mini episode, a little extra content for you. So we're welcoming Justin Wren. So Justin, you don't even know why I've asked you to be here.
I have no clue, but I'm excited to be here with you.
Thank you for just saying yes to a mini episode.
Yeah, you and your listeners, this is great.
Yeah, it is great. And I mean, I'm just so stoked that you've been a part of this. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited to be part of the tribe.
I'll let some Palo Santo for us. Yeah, me too. So you told me a story the other day that I really wanted to share because we had a conversation about this, and I just feel like it is something that people need to hear. And you told me a story about you were traveling to a funeral for your friend Brian and your former coach. And while you were traveling there, you had some setbacks. You were super hungry. You know, so many times in life, we're traveling from one place to the other, and it's about just getting there.
Yeah.
And I just thought what happened to you was a metaphor in the Uber ride. And I just wanted you to please tell that, and then we could have a quick conversation about what happened in your Uber ride. Is that cool?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Maybe that's why you told me to take an Uber here.
Oh my God. Did you take an Uber here?
I didn't.
Okay.
But I mean, I maybe should have. I went to go see and be there for my friend Brian's funeral. One of the best men I've ever known. One of the most positive, full of light and love. Just incredible people with 4 boys and a beautiful, sweet wife, Gina. And leaving from Austin to Denver to Iowa. I hadn't eaten the whole day, but I got on the plane. I was planning on just eating when I got to the Austin airport, but with COVID, every restaurant was shut down. Every store was shut down.
Oh my God, how annoying.
So I wasn't able to get anything to eat, even drink, because everything was shut down. I mean, I could go to a water fountain. And I got some stuff on the plane, but I'm gluten-free. I have celiac, so I couldn't eat the pretzels.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyways, got to Denver. Well, it was right after 8:00 p.m. And everything was shut down there too. So you go to a water fountain or you get pretzels, but I can't eat pretzels. So we get to Iowa, and when I land, it's after midnight, and I have to wait for an Uber, and there's none in the area. It says no Uber drivers.
Because it was like New Year's Day, I think, too, right?
It was.
So that's probably partly why things were closed down too.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I mean, I don't know.
You're smarty pants. So anyways, all of a sudden I had to get a driver from 40 minutes away. So I had to wait till 12:40 a.m. I had not eaten the day before now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just starving. She gets there. Her name was Anastasia. And so Anastasia picked me up, and I asked her, could we please stop somewhere to get something to eat? And she goes, oh dear, like this is almost 1 a.m. and it's Iowa. Like there's not going to be anything open. I'm like, nothing, not even a McDonald's. And she goes, well, there's something called Hardee's. And I was like, okay.
Oh my God, I used to love Hardee's.
Yeah, I hadn't had it.
Uh-huh.
So she takes me to a Hardee's, and they took like over 20 minutes.
Wow.
And when we got my food, it was cold. The fries, the burger, all that. But I didn't care. Her and I had started having a deep conversation. I started reminiscing about how grateful I was for Brian. She asked why I'd come to town, why I was there so late. I said, I'm speaking at my friend's funeral tomorrow, and I got to be there for his wife and his 4 children. And I had started telling her my story, how I had been suicidal at 13, how I had attempted suicide at 23, how I had attempted suicide now the year before, at 2020, at 33. And I shared my story, and I shared how he had taken his life. But that's not his legacy. It's a legacy of love and light, and how incredibly grateful I am for him and the life that he had lived, and how I had a sacred or almost just divine conversation with his wife for over 2 hours the night before I met Anastasia. And I asked her, what do you want to do? Like just what Brian left a legacy. He's even helping people in his death by donating his brain to science. It's at the #1 research center in the world. And she started to tear up, and she said how she wanted to be a child psychologist, how she grew up with depression, and that her family didn't understand that, just thought that she was a sad person, told her to kind of suck it up and everything else. And she wanted to help children before they got to her age. And she told me about her, not 1, but 2 suicide attempts, how she tried to, the second time, take heart medicine to make her heart stop.
Wow.
And it was a heart-stopping cocktail. Well, she threw up, and she said for her, it was God saying that she wasn't done yet. I said, wow, that's what I said. Whenever I came back, like I felt a whisper in my spirit, you're not done yet. And then she started to tear up while we're in the Hardee's drive-thru before we got our food. We had time to talk. I'm glad we had that time. I'm glad my food was cold because it gave me an opportunity to put my hand on her shoulder because she started to tear up and say that for those 4 boys, you know, she knows what that's like because her mom watched her attempt suicide twice, and then her mom did take her life, and that she committed suicide, and Anastasia was the one that found her. And so I was able to be there, put my hand on her, love on her, share my story, share Brian's story, share that she needs to go back to school. She goes, I want to. I'm an Uber driver because I want to go back to school to be a clinical psychologist for children that are experiencing loss, just like your 4 friends, the 4 boys, you know, Brian's sons. And I go, yeah, you could be there for them. You understand, you know, unlike a lot of other people that even have the degree. And so we had this moment where instead of me putting on my headphones like I first thought and being in my phone and reviewing my notes for the eulogy the next day, I was able to just share the eulogy with her right then and there. And she was able to share her pain. I was able to share my pain. And I think we were able to heal together. And I was able to encourage her that only you can do, and only you can be the person that these people need. And so please go through with it. What's the gift that only you have to give and offer to this world? Go do it. You know, this time is short. This life is short, and you're here for a reason.
Well, when you told me that story, it's so powerful. But what struck me too is that so many times we're going from A to B and ignoring the opportunity to connect with someone that's right in front of us. And who we are in every moment really matters. And that is why I wanted to just take a minute to share this story, because we don't know the impact that you had on her life, but it had one on yours. And it likely was very impactful to her. And we just didn't need to take the time for those moments. And I think this was just a really, really incredible example of that, and the synchronicity that showed up in that situation. And I just wanted to highlight that, you know, who we are in every single moment matters. And we can be vulnerable even when vulnerability is inherently scary, but you know, just being vulnerable in those moments really matters.
It's also inherently strength. It's courage.
It is.
Being vulnerable. It's tough to do. It takes that 5 seconds of courage, but then you lean in and you share your strength with somebody else because you're allowing yourself to be seen. And after I did that with her, you know, it's 1:30 a.m., 1:40 a.m., and I'm at a wrestling coach's house, and I get out and we hug. You know, we get out and I hug the Uber driver almost 2 a.m. in the morning. And thanking her for the food. We
don't even do that when we're not tired and hungry sometimes. And you were tired, you were hungry. I mean, and you were traveling. And that's like the trifecta of, like, you know, things that can bring you down and not make you want to do that. So, like, I mean, it's such an amazing example to me. So I'm glad you told me that, because I was like, I need to remember that. And I just feel like other people we just need reminders a lot of times that we can overcome our own, you know, shit going on and really tap into the moment and the connections and how powerful that can be.
Last thing I remember telling her while I was hugging her was, Anastasia, you've survived 100% of your darkest days. Go share your light with the world. And I got chills just thinking about that, because it was such a precious moment to me, you know, and I think to her too.
I have no doubt. This is to me right now. So thank you, Justin. Thank you for coming back. And please remember that you can find Justin, listen to our whole episode if you haven't yet.
Please do.
And also you can find him at The Big Pygmy on Instagram or at fightfortheforgotten.org. And you can make a donation to Fight for the Forgotten.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. And you can also like and share the Amy Edwards Show, because she's a rock star and she is such a dear friend in my life and a precious gift. So please support the show.
Thank you, Justin. And thank you for showing up and doing this again. Appreciate it. So thanks, y'all. Thank you so much for listening. If you liked this show, please rate and review. It totally matters. And I encourage you to spread the love too and share this episode with a friend if you feel called. Find me and my newsletter sign up at amyedwards.com. And you can also connect with me on Instagram at RealAmyEdwards or in Clubhouse at Amy Edwards, or write to me. It's amy@amyedwards.com. Here at Hot Pie Media, we also have a absolute ton of other great fresh content rolling out all the time. So check out all the other amazing shows when you can. New episodes of this, The Amy Edwards Show, drop every Thursday with content in between too. So subscribe, please, wherever you listen. And hey, I love you so much. And we are all here to get these lives that we've got rocking and to get ourselves shining as much as we can. So keep going. And thank you again for being here. And here's wishing you all the abundance, joy, health, wealth, love, riches, peace, wholeness, connection, all the good stuff to you. Till next time.